All right, yo, what is up, everyone? We are going to be taking a look at the September 2025 release schedule. I am a little late. I'm maybe around 22 hours late, but the September schedule is out. Let's take a look at all the different banners, and we'll also give you a preview of like what is to come in case you kind of want to skip this month. Who knows? But let's take a look what's happening for September 2025. So very first event that's going to be happening is twofold. We're going to have the Champions Meeting Gemini Cup. So this is the cup that we're preparing for right now. It is on the Kyoto turf. It's 3,200 meters long. Basically, it's Tenosho Spring, but we've been preparing it for now. I do have some guides on it on my YouTube channel. You can see over here, I have guides on everything you need to know about Gemini Cup. Full breakdown over here, and I'm probably going to get an ace tier list out, so be on the lookout for that. But everything you need to know about the cup is in that video. It is September 7th, and they did say that this cup would be in mid-September, so this is kind of a big yikes, or at least it would be very scary for a lot of people. But you guys also have to keep in mind that like for the first 3 days or 4 days, it's just registration period, right? Which is just letting you know that it's happening. I think the reason why this is a thing is because when you played on the original Japanese version, you obviously didn't have the lineup of events. I'm pretty sure you didn't. And so those 4 days were supposed to be the days you would prepare, right? For the Gemini Cup. So, you know, at least you have the knowledge. Now you can start preparing. It's a long distance race. You're going to need a lot of stamina. You're going to need a lot of speed. Watch my other YouTube video to figure it out. Next is the new character and card banner. The card banner is not going to feature new cards. So Seiun this guy is a big Uma that you are going to want to be saving for. Let me just change this out to the English version. So if you want to know all my thoughts on like who you should save for, what's coming up, what are the big saves, you could watch my guide on that. It's gonna be over here. It has like Summer Maduzensky on it. You need to save for these, the best characters and support cards to save for. So I made this video about a month ago. You guys should check this out if you're confused on who to save for. But in this video, we did cover Seiun Sky. Seiun Sky is a very pivotal, very good Umamusume to save up for because she herself is like somewhat of a mediocre frontrunner, at least when you compare her to her successors, which would be Summer Maduzensky or the Valentine Mihono Bourbon. Those are way better frontrunners than Seiun Sky. However, Seiun Sky does have a very key unique for frontrunners, that being angling and scheming, her unique skill. So this is a really top tier acceleration skill. When you inherit it, it's only halved in its value, right? And the conditions for it to activate is that you're just on the late race. You are on the, I'm pretty sure on any corner in the late race and beyond. You're on the corner in the late race and you have to be first, which are very easy conditions. And if I'm not mistaken, this unique skill activates as you enter that corner, right? It's like as you enter that corner, you get it, right? So it's a very good unique skill. It is good on her. However, because she gets outclassed fairly quickly as a frontrunner, usually you don't see a lot of Seiun Skies once like Summer Maduzensky comes out, once Valentine Mihono Bourbon comes out. It's a very good skill. Every frontrunner is going to want to inherit it. You can argue that maybe you can skip Seiun Sky so that you, because you could just borrow a Seiun Sky as a parent. However, the more like resources you have on your account, the better, right? That's just generally like what that is. She is a good frontrunner for medium, for long distance, right? She also has some pretty nice skills in frontrunner savvy. She has tail held high, which is a very good skill that's usually used in a lot of combo sort of builds. You usually get like tail held high, ramp up. I don't know exactly all the skills, but basically 3 skills right before tail held high lead into that late race, get this velocity boost, and essentially be in a very good position to win the game. Escape Artist is also really good. However, this is a gold skill, so you cannot pass this down. You can pass down. However, I'm pretty sure the white version of this, which should be fast paced, which is also a pretty good skill, I would say. It's a frontrunner skill that doesn't really have that much of a restriction, right? You just need to be within the top 5, right? Which is really easy to do. So very good parent for frontrunners, Seiun Sky. and you'll see her definitely fall off in terms of being usable as a racehorse, but as a parent, she's invaluable for anyone that's upcoming. Moving on, you have Silent Suzuka, SSR support card. So this is a very good support card for sure. She's not a reroll target. She's not as like insane as Kita-san Black. She's not as crazy as Super Creek. I would say she's probably on the same level as Fine Motion. I think Fine Motion honestly was pretty overrated at launch of the game. Pretty much like carryover legacy knowledge from Japanese meta at the time. Silent Suzuka is a fairly good speed card as an SSR. Even with like little limit breaks, she has pretty good stat stick passives, right? 50 specialty priority, which is really, really nice. And she also starts with initial friendship gauge. On top of this, on Limit Break 1, you get skill point bonus, which is always very valuable, right? And so this card is pretty good. However, is this something you should like wail for or roll for? Not really. She's pretty limited in her use case in that she's only really good for front runners. Now she has a lot of good skills here, right? But she's still only just a very limited front runner card. She's not as like usable or not usable. She's usable on anyone. She's a speed card, but she's not like pivotal for everyone, or she's not like able to be splashed in every single deck, right? You could consider cutting her. So this is not like a must pull by any means, but she's a good card. She's definitely not bad. Tamamo Cross is our SSR stamina card that would share this banner. She would also be rate up, and she's just not a very good stamina card at like in any case, I don't think, right? You have some hint levels. You don't have specialty priority, however, right? At all. So she's kind of like a roaming stamina card. Not really much else to say. I don't really want to get into it. Is this a card you should pull for? Absolutely not. Moving on, you have the next banner or the next event, which is a Legends race event. So you could challenge these Umamusume to gather their star pieces. Next, you have the next banner, which is the Hishi Amazon, Shinko Windy, and Bamboo Memory support card banner. So Hishi Amazon is a pretty big favorite to a lot of trainers, I would say. I'm definitely waiting for Hishi Amazon. She does have a really nice version that would come a lot later in her wedding outfit. If you ever take a look at her animations or even just see this top cut of her, it's insane. It's really good. For now, you're going to have to be satisfied with this Hishi Amazon. She has 20% power growth, 10% guts growth. Not really very good stat growth rates, unfortunately. Mild, medium, end closer. She is an end closer if you notice. And remember that her power card, her power SR, does have a lot of end closer skills. Let's taking a look at her unique skill very briefly. Increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside toward the back on the final straight. That seems interesting. Definitely seems a little more interesting for shorter distance tracks, right? But if you take a look here, yeah, she just needs to overtake. It needs to be past the final corner, so it has to be on the, I guess, final corner or beyond. It says on the final straight over here, though, so it might be updated. I don't know. But either way, she needs to be 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th in a CM. And is last straight. I see. Got it. Okay, so it is on the final straight. Yeah, I don't know why it says during the final corner or beyond. Either way, it's a velocity skill when she's overtaking as a late surger towards the end. And if it's towards the end, you probably don't want to be in this position unless it was like maybe a shorter distance. I think that would be a little more feasible. She's definitely not that great of a character. Masterful Gambit is not that great of a skill. Steadfast should be... No, this one's not that great. Yeah. Final corner is definitely not going to be for like tail held high. She does have end closer straightaways though. And she does have end closer corners, which is already cool. But besides that, she's kind of like a waifu pick, an Oshi pick. She's not that great on her own. These are evolution skills, not anything you'll have access to. So really not too much to say about Hishi Amazon. Pull if you like her. That's pretty much it. But we'll go into more detail when her banner is about to drop. Moving on, you have Bamboo Memory SSR support card. This is a power card. Now, this one, I don't really know too much about it as far as its capabilities, or I've never really heard too much about it, which is to say that it's probably a skip. So first limit break, you get a skill point bonus. It's a power card, right? She has no specialty priority to speak of. And as far as her training effectiveness, she does have 11% and a power gain, but that's kind of it. I don't really see this as a great card as a stat stick, and not for a hint either, unless you, for whatever reason, broke the bank and got a maximum break version. So it's really tough to make a case for Bamboo Memory if you're the typical use case getting 0 or 1 limit break, right? So I definitely don't think this is a must pull in any means. But Shinko Windy SR support card is going to be introduced, and this card, even if you don't get it on this banner, you're likely to pull or pick it up later as we get into the game. This is an SR speed card, and SR speed cards are more than welcome. More than welcome are the SR speed cards, because speed cards are essential to pretty much any deck. This is a card that I remember being pretty good. If we take a look here at the maximum break version, you have 35 specialty priority. That's pretty low. 15 initial friendship gauge, and I don't think it goes up either. Initial speed, no. We have 25% friendship bonus, 30% mood effect, which is whatever, but 25% is nice. 5% training effectiveness. This is actually 35% friendship bonus, which is pretty nice, I would say. All in all, looks like a pretty average SR speed card. Definitely very playable, not incredible, but as far as her skills go, which she has no hint, likelihood, her skills are okay. I definitely don't really like Prepare to Pass as a general skill, but yeah, the skills are whatever. The skills are whatever. What's nice about an SR speed card is usually the fact that the chain events aren't too big, and when you're making your support card deck, you usually want some cards that don't have big chain events so that it doesn't get in the way of playing cards like Swinging Maestro, or rather the SSR Super Creek and SSR Kita-san Black, because they have like 3 chain events, right? And shorter chain events basically gives more room for them to activate and them to resolve fully, right? Yeah, these skills definitely aren't too good from my understanding. Shifting Gears would be probably nice for a mile as well. Maybe Unyielding Spirit. That could be pretty nice for, I guess, Tail Held High. But as far as the events, as far as the card itself, it's just a pretty average SR speed card, okay? Another option. Moving on, you have the El Condor Pasa and Fantasy Grass Wonder Umas. So, Fantasy El Condor Pasa, really cool skin. Extremely cool skin. She's like a monk. She's really, really cool. You have 50% speed, 50% guts, which isn't really bad at all. This is the first time you're going to see 15% stat bonuses on any Umamusume. And as El Condor Pasa, because she's a limited card or limited character, she is going to be a 3-star version, which is going to be a little better than her 2-star version, right? This one is pretty much a pull if you like her. She's not really crazy in terms of being a parent to any of the other Umamusume, and she's not the best at what she does. So it is a pull if you like her, and if you do like her, I mean, you do have access to Rising Dragon, which so far is only a pseudo-unique skill to Measure Orion, and it's also a pretty good one, right? This is velocity when passing another run on the outside on the final corner, so as long as the final corner is like deep into the course, right? Deep into the late race, this is a pretty pivotal skill, right? 1.5 million CC is commonly referred to as a pretty good skill, from my understanding. You also have Furious Feet, which is okay. So it looks like she's maybe meant to be a late surger, yeah, for Rising Dragon and for Furious Feet, right? Home Stretch Ace is always nice. So she's a really nice mile racer, typically going to be used as a late surger strat. Other than that, not really much else to say. Pull if you like her. Otherwise, you know, you can save. Moving on is Grass Wonder. This is the healer Grass Wonder. So you can see that she's having a big poofy hat. She's kind of dressed in white robes. She has a long staff. She is the archetypical RPG healer. And where this shows especially is in her kit. So if you see her kit, it's all heals. It's all heals. It's all endurance and stamina recovery skills. So she's basically outfitted with a bunch of heals. The problem with being outfitted with a bunch of heals is that she needs to have speed skills, or you need to put a lot of speed skills on her to sort of compensate for it, right? Acceleration as well. But learning, not only does she have like heal skills innately, she learns like the gold versions of them as well for her raise potential. So she's like kind of on the extreme side of things with regards to healing. Definitely would have been kind of cool for this Gemini Cup. However, this is coming out on September 21st, which is way past the Gemini Cup. And so we're not going to see her really in a context where she would be more able to be used. As far as like a must pull, as far as like a good parent, no to either of those. She's I wouldn't even say a decent runner. She's just funny. She's kind of gimmicky in the fact that she just has a bunch of heals. She's not bad, but she's not great either. So, and she'll be the last of her kind. Moving on, you have the support cards for that same timing, which is Seiun Sky and King Halo. I remember King Halo being talked about a lot when I used to play the game. I don't remember exactly why, but I mean, we could take a look. Seiun Sky is a wit card, and over here, she does have speed gain on the speed bonus, right? She also has some hint frequencies. Specialty priority is abysmally low. This one just seems not too great, if I'm not mistaken. You go to get this one limit break version, you get, I guess, speed bonus 2. Speed bonus 2 is somewhat notable, for sure. Low specialty priority on a wit card is actually pretty good, because then she would be kind of like a roaming support. However, she only has 6% training effectiveness. So even then, it's pretty tough, because if you have low specialty priority, what you want to see coupled with that is like 10 or 15% training effectiveness or higher, obviously, right? She does seem to have hints. So if we take a look at the hints, she has some debuffs. She has tail held high. Not that great. If you want like a tail held high parent card, your best bet is to borrow like a Yain no Muteki. This card is definitely, I would say, pretty safely not very good at all. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's very good. The card looks cool, but moving on, we have King Halo on Power. A Power King Halo. Now, this one has 35% training effectiveness, or rather friendship bonus right off the bat. You have a specialty priority on her unique effect, which multiplies against her support effect specialty priority, which is pretty cool. 5% training effectiveness, which is decent. You have pretty good hint levels, a lot better than Seiun Sky's for whatever reason. And if you have her at one limit break, she does get a power bonus and some pretty high specialty priority gains. So I definitely think for the specialty priority being on the unique, being on her support effect, that's not bad. However, this is a power card, right? This is a power card. Let's take a look at the hints, because she does have hint frequencies. She does have firm conditions, which is okay. Everything else, outer post proficiency, cloudy days. Unless it's like cloudy days is the champions meet. I mean, you have like two green skills here that could be guaranteed depending on the champions meet. Most times it is on firm conditions, and I would guess sunny as well. But if we take a look at, let's say, the Gemini Cup, yeah, it's firm, spring, sunny. On the Cancer Cup, it's good, summer. I think this is probably a mistranslation. This is probably like firm as well. It's sunny. Yeah, it seems mostly the case that you're on firm and sunny tracks. Here you have Scorpio in January. That's going to be soft and with rain. And funny story or funny thing, even if it's technically cloudy when it's raining, this will not activate on rainy days. So corner recovery is nice. That's about it. Everything else is like very specific late surge or end closer on sprints, which is very interesting. So basically for King Halo, but this is a King Halo card, so you can't really use her for her. Blinding Flash, which is, I guess, a gold version of Gap Closer. Very interesting. You also have Homestretch Haste. For the events, we don't really have too much to speak of, I would say. King Halo's random events are notably not very good. You have to choose between losing 20 energy or losing a mood, right? And this one is just like a Homestretch Haste. So, yeah, definitely doesn't seem like a very good card, I would say. So definitely this banner is a pretty safe skip. Okay, last thing I want to cover is the Uma quest, Epic Odyssey quest, the story event that's coming up. That's going to be September 21st. And this is basically the same sort of story event, even though the art is a little different. The design you can see is the same. It's going to feature the new playable characters. It's going to allow you to get more event points off the newer support cards, right? As well as off the event support card that is coming with it, which is the SSR Speed Gold Chip, okay? These are all the rewards you can get. Pretty, like, not substantial, nothing crazy. The event that's coming up that you really want to look out for or is pretty significant is like the Halloween event, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure if you do the makeup and Halloween event, that's the one where we start to get shards, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken. Oh, no. Yeah, there you go. That's the one where we start to get like the Limit Break shards, right? The Rainbow Limit Break fragments. I'm pretty sure that's the first one. But either way, we'll probably take a look at the other events. You can take a look yourself if you like. But this event is pretty much just to get more sort of resources for monies, for support points, for everything, right? As well as the gold ship SSR speed card. So the question is the gold ship SSR speed card good? Or like, who is it good for, right? So if we take a look at the gold ship SSR speed card, you could see that, I mean, what we're going to do is going to max it out, right? By doing the event, you should always cap out the event. You should always get all the copies from the event, right? So, gold ship's card, the support effects, there is no specialty priority to speak of. And you might think like, oh, okay, that's cool. Gold ship could be a roamer. Okay, but this is a speed card. You don't want your speed cards to be roaming and running around and hitting different trainings. She does have skill point bonus, which is cool. And this is coupled with a power bonus as well from the unique effect. However, there's just no specialty priority to speak of. The stat stick passives are okay, they're fine, but there's just no specialty priority to, you know, be useful. There are hint levels here, so does she work as like a parent card? Does she work like a Yae no Muteki? Well, there's a lot of hints. They're typically aimed for end closers on long distance tracks, so basically characters that are very similar to Gold Ship. One of those characters could be Narita Taishin, right? For sure. You have Inside Scoop, you have After School Stroll. Those are pretty nice skills for sure. But as far as like this card as a sort of parent trainer, it's very questionable. The only really valuable, the only very standout skill from this kit is Straightaway Spurt and Groundwork, which, to be fair, are very, very pivotal, are very key, are very sought out skills. It really depends on the track, obviously. For frontrunners, every frontrunner wants Groundwork. But like you're doing like a D&D dice roll for Groundwork. I think you might actually be doing a D&D dice roll. I think it might actually be 1 out of 20. I don't know. You guys could count yourself. It's a pretty low chance to get the Groundwork, okay? So it's really hard to get the skill you want with this Gold Ship card. As far as the skill from events, well, she does provide long straightaways as a guarantee. That's from her second chain event. She also does allow you to either get Inside Scoop or the golden version Innate Experience, which notably is pretty good for the Gemini Cup because the final corner is so deep into the late race. So a velocity boost is really welcome there, right? That's on her third chain event, right? If you pick the top event, you could either get the white or the gold version. However, unless you're preparing for Gemini Cup, past Gemini Cup, like, you know, it's not really happening. So, her only utility doesn't seem very good. What about if you compare her to like other SR speed cards or SSR speed cards? Well, if you have Zero Limit Break Silent Suzuka, which you might because like the banner for Silent Suzuka is before that, right? Maybe you did get Silent Suzuka. Even Zero Limit Break is going to be pretty good, right? You have 50 specialty priority. You have pretty good stat stick passives. No training effectiveness, but like 25 and 45 mood effect is still pretty good. You have some initial friendship gauge. You have some race bonus. She also has really key frontrunner skills, right? You don't really need to target any of these. Just any one of these. Most of these would be pretty nice for frontrunners, right? you also have Biko Pegasus, which is a pretty common stat stick SSR card that you're also going to have at 0 limit break, right? 15% training effectiveness, 20% friendship boost, no mood effect, but mood effect is usually underpowered or not very sort of efficient anyway, right? These are really good. And you also have like some pretty decent specialty priority. If you compare Gold Chip to SR cards that a lot of people have, Maximum Break Sleep Tosha, for instance, she has the skill point bonus, but she also has specialty priority, right? And she also has training effectiveness. She has really good stat stick passives. And Sweep Tosho is definitely a very good like SR speed card. You would run Sweep Tosho over Gold Chip pretty much all the time. But what about, let's say, because Gold Chip does give you a bunch of like long and end closer skills, what if you compare her directly to Narita Taishin, who is also meant for end closers, right? She has Standing By, which is like Sleeping Lion, which isn't very good. But you have end closer corners, you have Intense Gaze, right? These are nice skills for an end closer. Even if you compare Gold Chip to Narita Taishin, like you have at least some specialty priority. And you have pretty good stat stick passes, training effectiveness, mood effect, friendship bonus. That's 3 for 3 with a speed bonus as well. So even when you compare Gold Chip end closer card, end closer speed card to end closer speed card, Narita Taishin seems to win. So is like Gold Chip very good as a like free to play card, free to play event speed card? Is she like anywhere near as good as Special Week? No. The answer is just a flat out no. But if you have nothing else, then I mean, she's there. She's there. That's pretty much all there is to say about the SSR event Gold Chip card, in my opinion. So the very last thing I want to put for this video is do not cleat Gold Chip. Do not cleat Gold Chip. Maybe you'll be really, really desperate and really want the groundwork or straightaway spur. I don't know. Just don't cleat it. I don't understand why people want to burn their event cards. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Maybe if you really, really min-max, you could justify it. I would say never ever burn your event cards. Okay? TLDR for pretty much all of these. The only must pull here is like Seiun Sky, and that's only if you want to raise or have the ability to kind of customize a really good front runner parent. If you want to do that, which is like pretty nice, right? If you're customizing a front runner parent, that's like applicable to most different track types, right? Seiun Sky is definitely a really cool, flexible sort of meta pick, especially because when Summer Maduzensky comes out, when Valentine Mihono Bourbon comes out, front runners are going to be really nice, and you're going to want Seiun Sky as a parent. So, that is the summer schedule, or rather the September 2025 schedule. What is coming up immediately after? I think this is a pretty important question to ask. So immediately after, right, you have the month of October. You have Fuji Kiseki. You have this card here for Metro Ryan and Arden. You have Gold City. You have Nishino Flower and Vodka, which Vodka is a pretty good one. Nishino Flower is not so much. And then you do have Summer Maduzensky. Summer Maduzensky is going to be towards the later half of October. So I would say you have plenty of time to save. This is beginning of September, later half of October, maybe even delayed into November. Who knows by their scaling? I have no idea. So definitely Summer Maduzensky is someone to watch out for. And I would definitely pull from Summer Maduzensky, especially if you've pulled for Seiun Sky. So you have the beginning of September and the end of October to kind of look out for your next banners. Special Week, by the way, is also a pretty good runner, but Summer Maduzensky definitely a lot more meta. Anyway, that is it for the September 2025 release schedule. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you guys want more Umamusume content. And use code MAMBO for 10% off your Gamer Subs orders. I'm live every day on Twitch and on YouTube, and I guess now on TikTok as well. Take care, be safe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.